SPY powering up here. Again, very close to resistance of 594.72. Q also strong, pretty strong market. Again, I'm not chasing anything here. Qs are getting pretty close to resistance. SPY getting very close to resistance. And you know you don't have an entry here that's close to your 15 or your VWAP, so I can't chase them. SPY continuing up, 594.72. It just went through that resistance level. You'll see what it does there. Purple Q still moving up strongly as well here. The Q's up about 0.6%. Pretty strong move in the market right now. Tech stocks doing pretty nicely. Q's starting to pull back a bit here. The SPYs as well, right to the resistance level here, right to the resistance where it stopped. Just kind of watch it. We definitely get a bullish day on a bullish trending day here right now, but again, you don't want to chase. Wait for a pullback and then a bounce and a confirmation of that bounce back into the trend again. Again, we've got this 594.72 SPY resistance level to deal with as well. Paul, is this still a good entry for Roblex today? Let me look here where Roblex is. It's down a little bit today. I think it's still a good trade. But you wait on the 5-minute chart until it gets back up above the pink line. You want it above the VWAP. See, it's coming off the pivot point here. It needs to get above this VWAP. That's where I would consider getting in. I wouldn't take it while it was still weak. But it gets above the VWAP and holds above the VWAP, then I think it's still a very good trade, yes. See, it's cheaper right now than it was when we got it, so. SPY still sitting right on resistance here. Moved up pretty nicely. Now it's just kind of sliding sideways. Q's doing the same. Yeah, IWM doing the same. Again, they're all a little too extended for me to try to touch, but I'd like to see a pullback and then a bounce on these. The SPY will have the smallest amount of room to the upside when it pulls back because of that resistance level it just ran into. So I'd be looking at either the IWM or the Qs on a pullback and a bounce. Stock-wise, NVIDIA is a nice setup. Again, we've got a lot of stocks that are a little bit too high right now. Netflix pulled down here today. Huh. That was a nice setup this morning in Netflix, but it's pulled back. Roblex trying to bounce. Hey Hammonds, good morning. Good morning. Market pretty strong here. Again, SPY 594.72 is resistance. So we're basically just riding right along that resistance level on the Qs. That's a horizontal resistance, a high volume horizontal resistance. On the SPY, I mean, Qs just moving sideways right here as well. They do have some room to the upside. And IWM also needs to stay above the 100-day moving average. And IWM, which is at 207.83, about 208 on this IWM, which is pretty much right on the 100-day right now. So again, running right into some resistance right here on the market. The Q's moving up here now. You say Doug wanted to go out a bit ago. Scratch Tesla and took 65 cents in Nvidia. Nice job, very nice. Market's still pretty strong here. The Qs have got a little bit of room to the resistance. The SPY is basically just going right through resistance right now. Yeah, you're looking for a dip in the market before you take anything, Shy. I don't blame you. You're looking for doji sandwich setup in Meta today, perhaps. Yeah, trying to. Got that resistance at 675.25 and went right to it here this morning. SPY trying to move up. Q's trying to move up. Bradley, AVGO pulling back. Yeah, a little bit. Pull back right to the 8. SPY breaking out here. Broke through resistance. IWM as well, breaking through resistance. Oops. Nvidia moving sideways. Ryan, SBET alive again? Yeah, I saw that this morning. SBET up today. Volume's nothing like it was back when it was in play before. Still high, 3.6 million, but back on the 27th it did 54 million shares. But it pulled back to the 8 and is bouncing off the 8. Very volatile stock. This stock is extremely dangerous to trade, so you got to be very careful with it. CRWV still moving up here. Q's also looks pretty good. I try to get an entry off of the 15 here, and it's just kind of extended still. I do like the Q's the best of all of them. The IWM's pretty nice as well. The Qs have got more room now. The SPY has more room, has room now again because it's moved above the above that 594.72. But I still got another one at 596.14. 596.11. So about another dollar higher, and then it's got a good run up to 602. William, you're in VWAP. You're in the Palantir. Okay, yeah. And scratched it. Okay. You know, I have resistance at 134.14 on that thing, which it got to yesterday, and it's just moving. It's actually like a double doji sandwich setting up in Palantir, and I see you got it as it probably went right through the VWAP and came right back down through it again. Right there. I think it's still a good long for longer term. Roblox not doing too much today, down 0.6%. Yeah, still very bullish. And 594.72 is a SPY resistance, and it's just floating above it, but it hasn't really powered through it yet. So I'm being very cautious here. Watch the Qs starting to come in a little bit as well. Shy looking at MU. Big move yesterday in MU. MU was in another big move today. 101.35 resistance. It's turned into kind of a chase right now. Nice move up, a nice grind up on it. See, the way I look at it on MU, yesterday was beautiful grind up all day long. You see, it went right to this resistance level and then pulled back. Today it had a nice grind up all day. We're getting right near that resistance level again, that high volume resistance level. So I would expect to see probably some resistance here at pretty soon, 101. So it just means I can't take it right now. I've got to wait. Yeah, William. Listen. This Palantir has been a little problem since that nice big move up on Friday. I was between it yesterday and Roblex, and I took Roblex, and I still like Roblex better because Palantir still got some resistance here at 134.14. And it is just kind of moving sideways here. That of course would be a breakout to all-time high on Palantir. Shy end tap through the SMA, and now a huge gap and tap. Yeah, pretty big gap. Go back and look at it here. The big gap I see on an NTAP is here. That's where I see the gap in NTAP. Which is, it doesn't start till up here. So this some room here. This is a pretty decent high volume break in here, but you got to be careful with that line right there. That's going to be resistance right there as it moves into that gap. Unless I'm missing another gap, I don't see it. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. And I do have some resistance at 102.39, and then resistance will be going into this gap right there. But it's got some room here, between here and here, so a couple dollars. Shy, that the wick was hidden, okay, because of the AV-WEP. Yeah, I don't use the AV-WEP. Having some days like this, when the market creeps higher, sometimes you can't tell if you're being patient, just afraid to take a trade. Well, it puts you in a rough. It puts you in puts us in an awkward position, because as it grinds up like this, unless you've got some support resistance that it comes down to, you feel like you're chasing. That's the way I feel about it when it do with this. The market's has been pretty strong, but I can't take a long until I get some sort of a pullback to the VWAP or the 15 right here, and there really wasn't any kind of a trend until we broke through here. But there was no reason to take it here because of the fact that you hadn't really done that much. But now we've got a nice trend, so this is where I'd be looking for a pullback and a bounce later on. Would I consider AEVA for a long position? AEVA. Let's look at that. Ava Technologies, auto parts. It's okay. It's breaking out. It looks like an all-time high. Well, no, it's not an all-time high, but it's a high since back in 2022. Yeah, it's not bad. It seems like a decent setup. I've never traded that thing, but yeah, it's grinding right up along the 8. I think it's decent. Yeah, it's actually pretty volatile by the looks of it here. It's got an ATR of about $1.50. That's not that bad. Big ranges on this thing though. It's gone from a high of 110. It went all the way down to $2.54. Good Lord. Yeah, pretty volatile stock. But listen, it's a decent technical setup. Got the Q's right there. What you doing there, Ruthie? Oh. You going to exercise today?
Do what?
You going to exercise today?
No, I don't have time. My surgery is tomorrow.
Exercise?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Wednesday.
Well, today's Wednesday. There's a class. Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh, damn. Okay, I'm going to Mount Pleasant to
Oh,
do
the stores?
speed tests.
Okay. Just pace yourself here. Don't get too.
I don't have to go to all of them.
No, I know.
That's, I just had.
Did you finish that ad hoc project? Yeah.
Thank you for filling that. I'm sorry to confuse you, but
That's
she
okay.
switched.
Yeah, that's what it is now. I know. Okay. All right, so the market is got up to the SPY got up to resistance. It eased through it. Again, 594.72. So it's moved up pretty nicely. The Qs are just a little bit less powerful right now, and the IWM moving up. So we definitely got a trend here. It's just a matter of trying to find a stock that you like, and it pulls back. So I'm going to be looking for some of those. That NEVA that was mentioned here just a minute ago, it's actually a pretty interesting setup. If you look at the daily chart on this thing, it's breaking out here right now. pretty nice setup on this AVA. The option's kind of weird. They only have monthlies. Doesn't have any earnings till August. This earnings, the options are $2.50 apart, but you can get the $15 calls. $15 calls, which are $4.02 in the money. You can get them for about $4.40, $4.50 right now, which is pretty good. I mean, that's only like that's the June 20th. That's like 3 weeks out, and 2.5 weeks out, and you're only paying about 30 cents for intrinsic value on 35. I like it. I like that AEVA. I've never traded this thing. It's not a big, fast-moving stock, but the setup on it is pretty nice. This was mentioned on the YouTube feed, and this is a pretty interesting setup right here. You can see where you want it to stay above this 1874. But this is a pretty nice march. Pulls away from the VWAP, goes back down to it, and now it's starting to roll back up again. This is $30 way up here. This stock has got a history of some pretty wild movements, but you can see where it was at one point, up $106. So I think that's a decent trade. You might even want to go to July on the things. They're 490 by 520 out in July, which is about $4 of intrinsic value. So you pay a little bit more, but you've got quite a bit more time on AEVA. Just a decent one to look at. Yeah, Heaven, that's a nice setup on AEVA. That's a nice setup. I actually think it's worth taking a small trade in it for June and July calls, in the money calls. So like $15 calls. I think I'd go deep in the money on this thing. So you're going to get pretty much penny by penny movement on it. But I don't know anything about the company, but it's had a nice move up, and now it's just compressed, and it's starting to break out of compression. And the volume's been pretty decent here lately. So yeah, I like that. AEVA, I like it. So I did take some calls in it, in AEVA. I'm not going to post this one. I don't know. Again, I'm going to be out of town. I'm not going to be able to manage these things as well as I want to be. So I'm not going to post it. But I am taking AEVA, and I'm taking some June 20th, $15 calls. Alright, saying SMMT looks like it's continuing to recover. Doing very well today. Alright. Summit Therapeutics, yeah, trying to bounce. Again, it is trying to bounce. I understand that it's bouncing, it looks bad. I just can't, I can't take something that's this close to the 200-day moving average. Just too much resistance there for me, especially after this big buck. He had this horizontal resistance level there. But it is bouncing right off of the 1776, pretty nice. Wait. Hi, dear. Okay, be careful now. Okay? Just be careful. Coming up about 10 minutes to 12 right now. SPY's still grinding up. It's gotten through that 594.72, almost $1 above it now. Q's also looking decent. Starting to flatten out a little bit, which I'm really hoping for, to tell you the truth. I'm hoping we get a little bit of a pullback to trade, because IWM still looks really pretty good here too. His HIMS bouncing back up after this. Gapped up this morning big and pulled back really hard, right to the pivot point. SMR has been weak today. Still weak. Coin moved up nicely and now it's just flattened out. Again, I took AEVA. Again, I can't really post it or anything because I'm going to be out of town. But I did take a AEVA for a long for June 20th, $15 calls. And I paid. Look. Let's see. ABA. I paid $4.45 for it. Right, flattening out here. Still above the resistance level, but flattening out. Summit moving right up to that, Ari pointed out, Summit moving right up to that 50-day moving, the 200-day moving average. Almost right on it right now. Yeah, I see that, Ari. You say it must be some news on Summit is moving quite fast. Yeah, I see that. This move up here. I know you said you bought some $18 calls on it, and they're in the money pretty decent right now. I just don't know how strong if it's gonna power through that the 200-day. It's got some good volume here today, last 3 days, but today's volume is pretty strong, 5 million shares already at lunchtime. That's a pretty strong move right at this moment. I don't know if there was any news or not. Summit's still moving up. Again, the 200-day moving average is right smack on it right now, pretty much. $20.39 is the 200-day. I mean, I mentioned I never traded the stock. That means I should one should develop a feel for a stock, for individual stocks. Well, it helps to know how stocks move. But I mean, there was enough of a chart there for me to make a to have a relatively informed opinion. Yeah, no, I don't have to trade. I mean, I'll trade stocks. I mean, I just took that at EVA, so. But yeah, I mean, stocks. If you trade them a lot, like Tesla, I trade Tesla a lot. Take Microsoft a lot, Nvidia a lot, Netflix a lot. I trade a lot of those kind of stocks. So you do get kind of a feel for the way they move, and it's something that I've never even seen this stock before. So, but I look at the technicals on it, and the technicals are pretty nice. Again, 1874 is a level to stay above on EVA. Again, I don't want to do too much here on the with trades because I'm going to be out all next week. I'm leaving Friday, and I'm not going to be back in the room till a week from Monday, this coming Monday. So it kind of puts me at a disadvantage to try to put these things out because I can't manage them, and if I can't manage them, I have to leave it up to the folks to manage them, which is fine, but that's not what like the alert service. That's not what it says. It says I'm going to manage them for you. Yeah, particularly HIMS and SMR have pulled back. Yeah, they are. Um, they pulled back this morning off of some decent highs. In SMR, there's some profit taking going on here. You know, it hit the all-time high 2 to 3 days ago, so there's some profit taking in it. NNE is doing the exact same thing. The nuclear's got I wouldn't say they really get overextended, but there's some profit taking going on, and we probably have a little bit of money coming out of them going into other things. This is NVIDIA looks nice here, by the way. Okay, so I'm in AEVA. I'm going to manage it, but I can't post it here. Again, because I'm going to be out starting on Friday for a week. And then I'll be back a week from this coming Monday. I'll be back on the 16th. First vacation in 2 years. SPY still going. Looks pretty good. Suzanne, yippee for vacations. Yeah, I haven't had one in quite a long time. I really like what I do here, but I'm going up to Vermont for about 7 or 8 days, 9 days, I guess. Shy, another one of those low volume bullish days when you feel like risk return isn't there. You know, I know you're expecting a massive red move at any time. This is what these news things will do to you. They keep you out of trades. I don't see any right here that I can jump into because I'm not going to chase. So I've got to wait for a pullback to at least to the 15 on anything that I want to trade. And right now I'm not seeing that. Whoops. Q's did actually pull back right to the 15 right here. Tesla again just not doing anything. Looking at coin, Shy is a possible swing. Very volatile stock, as you know. These cryptos, very news related. This thing has been all over the place, but this is a nice PBO on this thing. It's a nice pullback on coin. This is what we're talking about, crypto stock, coin, with a pretty nice big move up here. Here's earnings, big move up, and kind of flat. Now it's coming back and trying to curl back up again. Quite a few resistance levels above here, but it's a pretty nice technical setup on coin. BTC, which is a grayscale, Bitcoin grayscale, is just lots of gaps, on this thing. But it also looks decent. MSTR is the only stock I know whose price goes up when it sells more stock. Yeah. Bitcoin is most of the cryptos are pretty volatile, but MSTR is extremely volatile, which I know is why you play MSTU. You can take advantage of the volatility with a 2x, but it's cheap. Up today about 8%. So that means MSTR is up about 4%, which it is 4.3. That's why you love your MSTY. That's your income strategy for the ESTF, yep. Coming up to about 12:05 here. Market pretty resilient here. We're not really getting any pullbacks since it started this rally up here this morning, about 10:15. Palantir fighting to try to get back over the VWAP again. Been very, very choppy today. I mean, with the market that we've had, this Palantir, this is not a good day, not a good day to be intraday trading, and it's just not. It doesn't have any relative strength at all. And neither does Tesla, for that matter. Tesla's just kind of moving sideways. They did take that AEVA, sorry. That's out to June. I like the setup on it. I didn't take a very big position. I had VST overnight. I took a nice profit in that this morning. Roblex not doing much today at all. Still slightly red, but nice setup on it, however. And DraftKings bounced pretty strong this morning off of that. It pulled back pretty hard right here, and then it's bounced back up again. So now it's flattening. About 12:07. I'm going to take lunch here in about 10 minutes. Again, I'm going to be out of the room on this Friday through the following Monday. Well, 2 Mondays. I'm actually going to be out for this Friday and all next week. For a vacation, I'm going to be heading out for a nice, relaxing trip to Vermont, and then back. And again, I didn't take any vacation last summer at all. So took one the year before. Took a nice trip to Iceland, but just going to Vermont this year for a little bit of a break. And I don't really feel like I need a break, actually. I mean, I love trading, and I love doing this every single day. But it's just you need to recharge your batteries. It's it's been very intense here lately. The market's been very intense to try to trade. It's honestly it's very it's tough. It's tough to trade in this kind of a market, and I'm also have a lot of people relying on me. So it's it's difficult when the market's this bad, and I have to say a lot of times say please don't trade, just watch. Here's the SPY pulling back here now, coming right back toward the 15. Now we're getting a little bit of a pullback again. The SPY Q's finally, or at least the SPY ran into resistance. Stayed above it for quite a while. STX, Robert, you've been waiting all day for a pullback? Yeah, I've been waiting all day for some pullbacks too, but STX has just been grinding right up. It's coming back toward the 8 on the my TC2000 chart. Over here would be coming back toward the 15, but still got a ways to go. Nice move in it though on STX today, up 3.5%. Again, I'm not really anxious to chase. It's a very nice setup on the daily on STX. I mean, it's a pretty nice breakout after a fairly long compression. If you look at STX, you see the compression on STX, a bunch of dojis in a row, and we notice how it get above the VWAP. I mean the 8 hit resistance, move sideways. The 8 catches up with it, and now we're moving back up again. Very common pattern for stocks. QA, you're riding CRWV until I see a break below the 80 MA on the 5. Okay, yeah, it's up, trading at 141.80. Yeah, I don't know when you posted that because it just went below the 8 on the 5. It hasn't closed below it yet. Well, it actually did just close below it in the previous candlestick. It's coming right back up again. Robert, Lulu seems like a nice long compression break as well. Yeah, it does. Earnings on the 5th, however. Lulu is like AVGO. They're nice setups, but they got earnings in 2 days. See what kind of move we get with the SPY as it comes back toward the 15. Q's got a little bit more room than the SPY does right now to the upside, and IWM has got quite a bit of room to the upside as well. If you get a pullback and a bounce, I don't think IWM has really pulled back very much. It hasn't. It's kind of close to the 15 right here. So these are not bad places to take longs on a bounce here. You might, we could get burned. You could get flushed right back out again, but it looks pretty good. And I took some IWM calls here. Took some IWM calls coming off the 15. I just want to. It's been pretty strong. We're looking to see if it goes above this 208.99. It's not real volatile like the Qs. The Qs are probably the better trade right now for potential profitability. But I took the IWM, especially since I'm going to be stopping for lunch here in a minute. IWM is the strongest index today, by the way. So it's up 1.58%. Qs are up 0.7%. SPY is up 0.5%. IWM quite a bit stronger than the other indexes right now today. And it just bounced right off the, pretty close to the 15, right off the 8 on my TC2000 chart. Just bounced right off of it. So again, I just took IWM calls. What I use, can't remember. Today's 208s. Today's 208s. I paid, what did I pay for them? IWM 111. I paid 111. They're at 116 right now. As I was talking with one of the members last night about the IWM, and it is a more relaxed way to play the indexes, especially if you've got a decent setup on it. It doesn't move as fast. You're not going to make as much money on it. It's less volatility, but it's less stressful to try to trade the IWM. And the Qs especially are pretty volatile. But notice how you can make more money on them as long as you can manage them well. But I like the Q setup right here. I also like SPY, but the SPY doesn't have as much room to the upside in my opinion. And it's a little bit further extended from the 15. So I went with IWM. I got in 111. They're at 120 right now. IWM doesn't really have any resistance now until 211.36, but there could be some resistance before there at about 210.21, but a buck higher from here. And I'm going to take it off before I go to lunch anyway. So. About 12:16. Like I say, I'm going to take lunch here in just a minute. I'll take this off as soon as I get a little bit of a momentum loss in the IWM. Again, I got in at 111 on IWM. It's right now trading at 121. Up about a dime. About 10%. Qs also, you see the nice return you'd have on Qs as it moves up. Again, it's a much faster moving one than the IWM, but obviously it costs more. There's the SPY moving up. Pretty nice move here in the SPY, the Q, and the IWM. IWM is also looking pretty good here. IWM up, again, like 111, going at about 125 right now. $20 on IWM is pretty nice. A $20 gain when you only paid $1.31 for it, so it's about 20%. See if it keeps on going. Qs, very beautiful move in the Qs here. Q's got room all the way up to 537. I took my IWM off. I'm gonna get some lunch as it starts to pull back just a bit here. Alright, so I'm out of IWM. I can get some lunch now. I got about 20% on, a little less. I got 111 out of 125. Q is pulling back a little bit now. So again, that was a decent run, but again, in this market, you just can't expect to ride them for very long. Alright, so I'm going to grab something to eat. We'll go ahead and shut down the YouTube. Robert, you forgot earnings on Lulu. Yeah, the earnings, it's one of the things you always have to check is the earnings dates on these things. AVGO and Lulu both have earnings on Thursday. And again, I'm out of IWM, and I'm going to get some lunch. Q's also, if you're in the Q's, you probably would be wise to get out of there right now. SPY's also pulling back. All right, get some lunch. Thank you very much, everybody in YouTube, for coming here today. I appreciate it. A lot of folks in there. Thanks for all the questions. I'll be back tomorrow about between 11 and 11:15. Again, I'll be out on Friday and all next week, and then coming back on the 16th, taking a week off, and come back all fresh. Actually, I don't really feel like I need a vacation, but I'm going to go on one.